Welcome to Political Beatdown. I'm Ben Meiselas, joined by Michael Cohen. We're in, day 3.5 of this Trump administration. It's worse than imagined, but it's spiraling out of control, I think, even quicker than imagined, just in terms of, I just think Donald Trump wasn't expecting that the WMD, weapon of mass distraction approach, flood the zone thing that he usually does. It's really not working. I mean, people are onto him. They're like, all right, we get it, but how about lower prices? How about all of the promises that you made? We don't want this chaos and this craziness and this weirdness. We'll comment on it. You're a freaking weirdo, Donald. We get it. But all right, tell us what you're going to do. Well, what about the transgender? What about this? What about that? No. Tell us about the things that you said you were going to do on the campaign, buddy. And he is just spiraling out of control. I mean, he looks mentally unwell. The whole thing is so strange. Let me just show you this, Cohen, and then I'll get your comments on it. The first thing I want to show, because I think it is important, I don't want to show a ton of Trump clips, but lots of people are saying, look, you gotta report on the news, and that requires you to show us that he's saying these things. I get it. I hear you. I don't want to overload us with Trump clips, but I think I have an obligation to show. Here's the things. I'll make them shorter clips. So here, Cohen, he goes on Sean Hannity, and even Hannity's like, Hannity's like, all right, let's talk about the economy.
Right. Doesn't Hannity look like crazy uncomfortable during that interview? I mean, and how could Trump be uncomfortable?
There was a few moments where Hannity was like, yeah, but why'd you pardon the violent insurrection? I mean, it may be the other ones if you wanted to do, but the ones who tried to kill the cops, like, you pardon those. And Trump's like, they've been treated very unfairly. They've been treated. And Hannity's like, yeah, but you probably shouldn't have done that. Even Hannity was uncomfortable. Here's Hannity trying to pivot to talk about the economy. And Trump's like, I don't care about that. Here, watch this.
A bunch of losers. Joe Biden has very bad advisors. Somebody advised Joe Biden to give pardons to everybody but him. They wanted to take care of. Yeah, but Sean, they wanted to. I don't care.
They're yelling at me.
This is more important because right now the economy is going to do great.
I want to know about
I'm here, so the economy. But you have to understand, he had bad advisors on almost everything. It's like in the old days when the Secretary of State said he never made a correct decision on foreign policy. Joe Biden got very bad advice.
You've been through.
Here's the thing, Donald, you're wrong about that, but no one cares anymore. Biden's not the president. It's not the 2020 election. Hey, big guy, you're sitting there. Do the stuff you said you were going to do. He can't, Cohen. He can't. And that's the issue. Let me get your response to all of that.
Well, what's to respond to it at this point in time? You have clearly Trump goes to the one location where he is extremely, extremely comfortable. And that's Fox News, specifically with Sean Hannity. And even Sean looks uncomfortable. He looks really uncomfortable in the conversation. We say, okay, but let's talk about things that, no, I don't want to talk about the economy. Economy is going to do great. The economy is great and so on. Well, I thought the economy sucked. I'm trying to figure this all out. But then all he wants to talk about, again, is Joe Biden. And by the way, Trump's not wrong. Joe Biden had terrible, terrible people surrounding him as advisors. Some of the worst, playing by an old Democratic playbook, refusing to listen to anybody who knows more than they do, because unfortunately in that group, nobody can know more than them. They played an old playbook that everybody knew. And so how do you win in a match when everybody knows exactly what you're going to do? Trump, on the other hand, came out swinging like a maniac and completely off the reservation as it comes to a playbook. It just constantly changed. And look, at the end of the day, he's going to continue to blame Joe Biden for everything. And it's not just going to be after 100 days. It's going to be after 365 days, after 500 days. It's going to be all the way up to the midterm elections.
Yeah. And you know what, though? Because it's that scene from Captain Phillips, the Tom Hanks movie, right? Where the pirates take over and they go, "We're the captains now." Guess what? We're the captains now. We're not corporate media. We're not reporting on the shiny objects, the bait and switch. Nope. We are laser focused on showing what is actually happening to the American people and to the world with a bigger audience than the corporate media. Let me show you this clip. This is what I was referring to before, where Hannity was very uncomfortable because Hannity was like, why'd you pardon the violent, like January 6th insurrectionists, like the ones who tried to kill the cops and who were, basically charged with sedition, the ones who had terroristic enhancements, some of the worst people. Let me show you this moment where even Hannity's like, huh? Here, watch this.
So you did run on a platform. You were very straightforward. You said you would pardon these people that were sentenced for January 6th.
No, totally.
You did. The only criticism or pushback I've seen is about people that were convicted or were involved in incidents where they were violent with police. Why did they get a pardon?
A number of reasons. Number one, they were in there for 3.5 years, a long time.
Right.
And in many solitary confinement, treated like nobody's ever been treated so badly. They were treated like the worst criminals in history. And you know what they were there for? They were protesting the vote because they knew the election was rigged and they were protesting the vote. And that you should be allowed to protest a vote. You should be allowed to. When the day comes,
you shouldn't be able to invade the Capitol.
No, ready? Most of the people were absolutely innocent. Okay, but forgetting all about that, these people have served horribly a long time. It would be very, very cumbersome to go and look. You know how many people we're talking about? 1,500 people. Almost all of them should not have been. This should not have happened. And the other thing is this: some of those people with the police, true, but they were very minor incidents. Okay, they get built up by that. A couple of fake guys that are on CNN all the time.
Nobody watches.
They were very minor incidents, and it was time.
I want to get your response that you were in solitary.
I'm sick. When I watched it live, I was sick to my stomach. First of all, to those of you who have heard me in the past on this show with Ben talk about my relationship with Harry Dunn, I sat with Harry, and I was actually with Eric Swalwell and Brian Karam, the reporter, and we were having drinks in in Chicago at the DNC, and we were just talking about it. It was the second time that we all had a chance to get together. But I remember listening to Harry Dunn talk about his experience. He brought us up to date with how Michael Fanone is doing. They fucking tased him in his neck. I'm talking about Michael Fanone. And, this morning on MSNBC, I sat and I was listening to Jamie Raskin, who is a man with a massive, massive heart, empathy, just a true human being. And all of a sudden, he's saying to himself, wait. What Donald should do with a bunch of these maniacs that is surrounding him, why don't you go to the gravesite of Brian Sicknick, the police officer that died? Why don't you go there? Maybe ask his mom to meet you over there and talk about how there was just love in the air. It was a love fest. It was a peaceful protest. People don't die from peaceful protests. That I can assure you. Michael Fanone tells the story, and it's wackadoodle that not only did they tase him once, but as soon as he was coming through, when his brain was finally able to acknowledge that it just got tased and he was sort of coming back through, they fucking tased him again. They were having fun. They were going to tase him until he was dead. And this is look, I understand Trump's position in terms of pardoning some of these January 6th insurrectionists. Specifically, there were some that didn't even go into the Capitol, some that did, but they didn't do anything. Okay. I understand what it's like to have a felony conviction next to your name, how it fucks up your whole life. So I get that. but not anybody that committed any form of violence. Moreover, there was a young boy, must be in his 20s, early 20s, long hair, very, he looks like he's a musician of some sort. His name was Jackson. He actually told the FBI that one of the people that was there and pointed him out was his father. His father's a maniac, and he now went out and bought a firearm, and he moved from his hometown for fear of retaliation from his father. One last thing. I don't know if you saw this, Ben. One of the pardoned January 6th hostages already went out and committed a crime and got picked up. So all of this horse shit, it has to stop. It just all has to stop. It's so tiring, isn't it? It's sickening. It's tiring. Why start off this way? Why not start off as what you said during your inaugurational speech, as a unifier? This is certainly not a way to unify the country. That I can assure you. Even Republicans are repulsed.
But the broligarchs, the tech oligarchs, the billionaires who are sucking up to Donald Trump, they know how devastating all of his policies already are going to be. And so they're trying to now make excuses for it. I mean, right here, Cohen, in California, in Bakersfield, agriculture economy, it's actually a red area in a blue state. They've lost somewhere between 75 to 85% of their migrant labor who's not showing up out of fear that they're going to get picked up by ICE. This is a key time in the citrus season here. There's also pistachios that are grown, citrus that's here. A lot of those, those cutie oranges or whatever they're called, they're here. And the labor is not showing up because Trump's saying he's going to do worksite raids. He's revoked executive orders that prohibit that. But now we're hearing from Trump's billionaire oligarchs. You know what they're telling us, Cohen? A little bit of inflation's fine. If it helps the national security, we're okay with inflation. This is Jamie Dimon, who's totally put on the knee pads for Donald Trump here. This is what he's now saying. Let's watch.
Remember that. Hold on. Remember that Jamie Dimon is the CEO of JP Morgan Chase.
It's a great context. Here it is.
Yeah, look, I look at tariffs. They are an economic tool. That's it. They're an economic weapon, depending how you use it and why you use it and stuff like that. And, people argue, is it inflationary and non-inflationary? I would put in perspective, if it's a little inflationary, but it's good for national security, so be it. I mean, get over it.
Get over it. He goes, get over it.
Yeah.
Get over
it. Get over it. Yeah, because if it costs you more, Jamie Dimon doesn't care. Why didn't he care? None of these guys care. Do you imagine that Jamie Dimon's not going to buy a dozen eggs, even if it's $50 a dozen? Jamie Dimon's bonus generally amounts to like $100 million a year. His bonus. Mind you, when they had the mortgage crisis and he fucked that up something royally, not one single person was held accountable for all of that. So do you think Bill Gates, do you think that Elon Musk, do you think that any of those guys, Jeff Bezos, or any of them that were on the billionaire dais, you think any of them aren't going to buy orange juice because it's $30 a carton? Or that they're not going to buy their eggs because it's $50? They could give a shit. Doesn't mean anything to them. They have their money makes money. And only they will ultimately be the ones who are making money. It's so scary. They're talking about everything that they're talking about is going to put you and me and all of us in harm's way economically. We're not on the same playing field, for God's sakes. And this is something that you, Ben, and I, and this network, this Midas Touch network, my Mea Culpa podcast, I talk about the YouTube channel, I just keep talking about it over and over and over again. Donald Trump pulled off the greatest, what would you even call it? Magic
scam.
stunt. Magic
Stunt
stunt.
Sam.
It was a magic stunt where he turned around and he convinced, it was like hypnosis. He convinced people who are living paycheck to paycheck, sometimes not even able to make ends meet, that he and they are the same, that he is their protector, that they will do better because of him, and he will protect them against the big bad wolf, the monkey that lives in the closet, right? The ghost that's in your basement. He convinced them that he and only he can do that. I'm bewildered.
Let me show you this. Democrats staying laser focused. Here is Congressmember McGovern right here. Here's Democratic Congressmember McGovern. Let's play it.
Trump is abandoning the blue. He could have chosen to let out only the nonviolent offenders, but he let out people who beat the cops, and that tells you all that you need to know.
Let me tell you what also you need to know is that Donald Trump's now, of course, saying that no peace in Ukraine anytime soon.
What? That's supposed to be done. That should have been done yesterday.
Well, he did roll out his plan, Cohen. You know what his plan was?
Yeah.
A all caps social media post saying, "Hey Putin, I'm gonna. This is real. Hey Putin, I'm gonna do you a favor right here, Putin. You see, I want you to figure out how to do peace in Ukraine, there, Putin, or else I'm going to impose tariffs on Russia." By the way, if tariffs were imposed on Russia, that would actually be a benefit to Putin, because right now Putin's not allowed to trade at all with the United States. So there's no tariffs on things that don't happen.
Right. Let me just give you a little bit additional context, because I happen to have done a little research on this. First and foremost, approximately 4 years ago, before these sanctions were implemented against Russia, the United States took in about $29 billion worth of goods from Russia. Maybe that's part of oil or whatever else. Today, it's less than 2.9 billion. It's inconsequential to any country's GDP. I just need people to understand that. All right, it's less than 2.9 billion. It's irrelevant is really what it is. So Ben, you're 100% correct. But I think Putin now might be a little nervous, might be concerned, because Trump put that post in all caps. That's serious shit, my friend. All right, that's the beginning to the total annihilation of Russia.
You know, Putin was told by his advisors, we got bad news for you, Vlad. And he said, what is it? And they said he sent a social media post, and Putin was like, please don't tell me. Did he use caps? And they said he used caps. How many caps? How many caps? Copious amounts of caps. Oh my God. Oh my God. What are we going to do? He's using caps. He's using caps. I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing. You know, remember Donald Trump talked about that?
Ben, can I do that? Can I do that for you in Russian?
Yeah.
Can I do that for you in Russian?
If it's appropriort. I'm not really sure where you're going with this.
President Putin, right? Ты знаешь, Donald Trump, давай это post in много caps. And he's like, много caps, да. He's like, oi.
That's what happened. And then Trump followed up with a speech before the Economic Forum in Davos. This is let me just say for all of the people, Cohen's back, everybody. This is the Cohen this is the fighting Cohen. You were there before, but Cohen, you had those boxing gloves. This is the Cohen that people wanted. They're off. But this is, people are saying, where's this? This is the Cohen who's ready to fight.
However, because what I'm saying right now, as I have always said, is reality. It's fact. It is absolute ridiculous that you cannot say that you are the president backing the blue, the law and order president, when in fact you are freeing individuals. Now, I'll agree that some of the sentences were exceptionally long based upon the crime. I will acknowledge that. I also believe that those that were not violent, to have that felony conviction, it's really very, very difficult. Unless you have
Cohen,
one,
I was
you
just
don't
announcing
understand
Cohen's back. I was just announcing Cohen's back.
I understand, but I am still back. I was back before too, but it's the reality. This is batshit crazy for him to start off a presidential run, right? That he's got 4 years, and this is the chaos that Ben and I warned everybody was going to take place every single day.
Let me share this with you. This is Trump in Davos. Here's what he said. Let's play the clip.
Mr. President, when you're back here in Davos next year, will there be then a peace agreement with Ukraine and Russia by then?
Well, you're going to have to ask Russia. Ukraine is ready to make a deal. Just so you understand, this is a war that should have never started. If I were president, it would never have started.
What in the word salad was that right there? All right, Cohen.
If I was king of the world, this would never happen. Maybe that's what we should do. Maybe, quite frankly, if it would never happen if I was king.
You know, you had Rubio. He went on the news and he goes, Trump kept his promise. Well, what do you mean there, Rubio? Trump never said that he was actually going to bring peace in 24 hours, said Rubio. Trump just said that he was going to say that he would bring peace. And he said it, so mission accomplished. The biggest bunch of lying grifters. But folks, remember what I've been saying over and over again. WMD, weapon of mass distraction. Donald Trump's going to throw all this stuff at us and go, oh, we should look there, we should look there, we should look there. Laser focus, folks. Prices are not lower, they are higher. Housing is not more affordable, it's less affordable. There's no peace in Ukraine in 24 hours. He is a freaking liar. And Michael Cohen is back, everybody. Let's take our first quick break of the show. We've got fighting Michael Cohen back, everybody. You were fighting. Yeah.
I'm pissed. I have too many friends. I have too many friends who are in the blue. No chance.
Everybody, check out patreon.com/political beatdown. Subscribe to Michael Cohen's YouTube channel at The Michael Cohen Show. It's great. And you've got fighting Michael Cohen right now. So that's extra reason to subscribe to at The Michael Cohen Show. YouTube, we'll be right back after our first quick break.
I found a valuable tool that gives me insights to create a healthy metabolism for my body. And it's managed to improve other aspects of my life as well. And it's called Lumen. So what's Lumen? Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's a device that measures your metabolism through your breath. And on the app, it lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs, and it gives you tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, your workouts, your sleep, and even stress management. Look, let me tell you how Lumen works. All you have to do is breathe into your Lumen first thing in the morning, and you'll know what's going on with your metabolism, whether you're burning mostly fats or carbs. Then Lumen gives you a personalized nutrition plan for the day that's based on your measurements. And you can also breathe into it before or after workouts and meals so that you know exactly what's going on in your body in real time. And Lumen will give you tips to keep you on top of your health game. Look, I'm not a kid anymore. My metabolism, it's not as fast as it used to be. Staying healthy and fit, it's much harder. So anything that I can do to gain an advantage, I'm interested. And here's why. So your metabolism, it's your body's engine. It's how your body turns the food you eat into fuel that keeps you going. And because your metabolism is at the center of everything that your body does, optimal metabolic health, it translates to a bunch of benefits, including easier weight management, improved energy levels, better fitness results, better sleep, and much more. Lumen gives you recommendations to improve your metabolic health. To the women out there, it also helps you track your cycle as well as the onset of menopause, and it'll help you adjust your recommendation to keep your metabolism healthy through hormonal shifts so that you can keep your energy and stave off cravings. So my friends, right now, take the next step to improving your health and go to lumen.me/beat to get 20% off your Lumen. So that's LUMEN.me/beat for 20% off your purchase. And thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode. When your car breaks down, you take it to a mechanic with no hesitation. I mean, you need it, and it's not something most guys can fix themselves. Look, I know I can't, and men should think the exact same way about ED. But the reality is, you might be hesitant to seek help. Well, thankfully, through HIMS, you can get access to personalized ED treatment without ever stepping outside your door. HIMS is changing men's healthcare by providing you with access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort, get a load of that, of your own couch. HIMS provides access to a range of doctor-trusted ED treatments like chewable Hardmints and Viagra and Cialis and their generics for up to 95% cheaper. You hear that? 95% cheaper. The process, it's also 100% online, so that there's no need for uncomfortable doctor visits. What you do is you just answer a series of questions on their site, and a medical provider will determine the right treatment option. And if prescribed, your medication, well, it ships directly to you for free. And there's no insurance needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. Now, with hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, HIMS can help you find the ED option that works best for you. So start your free online visit today at hims.com/beat. That's HIMS.com/beat for your personalized ED treatment options. Again, that's hims.com/beat. The products mentioned are chewable compounded products which are not approved by or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required, and price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Thank you to those pro-democracy sponsors. Cohen's got those street fighting gloves. He's doing erectile dysfunction ads on the Beatdown show. Start with the Beatdown, stay for the boner. Michael Cohen's ad reads are A+, folks. But in all seriousness, our pro-democracy sponsors go a long way to help our show. We don't have any outside investors, so it does go a long way. Cohen, some big news out of the bathroom situation in the Capitol building. MAGA Republicans' big issue. Not sure if you heard about this, but a Bloomberg reporter, Billy House, bore witness to the following. Representative Lauren Boebert bursted out of the House women's restroom moments ago during afternoon's vote series, complaining to security personnel stationed in the nearby speaker's lobby. Guys, there's a guy inside the bathroom. There's a guy inside the bathroom. Now, Billy House, the reporter, was intrigued. He heard her screaming that there was a guy inside the bathroom. He stuck around to see who would emerge from the bathroom and saw just 4 other people leaving, all women. Within minutes, however, Boebert was storming back from the House floor into the restroom. She was reinforced by MAGA Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace. They were shoulder to shoulder. Who would dare leave this scene now, Billy House says. Not me. Not me, says Billy House. Now, Mace is the author of the major Republican initiative, the resolution prohibiting transgender women into the bathroom, into the chamber from using the women's restroom. But alas, just seconds after this, the duo enters the bathroom. They come back out, and then it went quiet. It went quiet. Now, a bit of bathroom vigilantism. So then Billy House asks Lauren Boebert, what happened? What was the commotion? I heard you screaming about some guy. And then she goes that it was a mistake, that there was a rumor, that there was a guy in the bathroom. And that, Michael Cohen, is what the MAGA Republicans are spending their freaking time doing today.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure you actually completed the entire conversation. And as Lauren Boebert walked out of the bathroom, she zipped up her fly and said, "Nope, there's no more guy in the bathroom."
That's, I don't even know where to go with that, Cohen. But I was debating bringing up the story. You took it there, and we will just leave it at that. All right, Cohen.
It was Marjorie, right? As I said, she zipped up her fly, left, and said, "Nope, no more men in the bathroom."
And also,
she's just an asshole. I mean, look, it's enough already. You know, as when we listen to Trump talk about during the inaugural speech that he's going to be a unifier, what did that last for? All of an hour and a half before he got to the Oval Office and decided to sit there and to start signing all of these executive orders that were prepared for him by the Heritage Foundation. Oh, that's a big one. Yeah, that's a big one. Whoa, that's a big one too. Well, lots of big ones. And you're like, what is he, watching Magic Mike? I mean, the whole thing is so fucking crazy. There's so much going on, according to Trump, according to half of the plurality of Americans think that our country is in some sort of crazy decline. And we're talking about a bathroom? We're talking about Lauren Boebert? Seriously? I mean, at some point in time, we really need, as we are doing today, Political Beatdown, the Midas Touch Network, which is almost at 4 million subscribers. It needs to be 40 million subscribers. I'm not bullshitting here. 40 million. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the only way that we do what's going to be needed in order to ensure the future democratic republic of this country is 2026, the midterm elections, just have to be a sweeping referendum on exactly what we don't want in our country. And that's this divisiveness. It's this meanness, this vitriolic rhetoric that every single day that we see. And you know, it's crazy. I know sometimes I try to be hopeful. And I always said, I'm not optimistic, but I want to remain hopeful that when Trump retakes the White House, that it's not going to be necessarily as bad as what we all expected. Well, I hate to say it. My hope is now semi down the drain because at the end of the day, he signed a series, like just about 100 executive orders that he didn't even read. He didn't read any of them. Okay, maybe he read 5 of them or 10 of them. They were all pre-prepared for them, given to that yo-yo that was sitting there reading off. Mr. President, we have one now that is going to,
withdraws from the World Health Organization, the
Right.
Paris Climate Treaty. We're going to revoke birthright citizenship.
Ben, that's a big one. That's a big one, Ben.
By the way, there was that big ruling today in Washington out of the federal court, which handed Donald Trump his first major law, saying that his birthright citizenship revocation is an egregious violation of the law. There were multiple states that filed in the state of Washington, but there were these lawsuits filed throughout the country. It's worth noting that it was a federal judge appointed by Ronald Reagan, by the way, Judge Conayor, and he said, quote, "I've been on the bench for over 4 decades. I can't remember another case where the question presented is as clear as this one. This is a blatantly unconstitutional order, and the judge blocked Trump's birthright citizenship revocation because it literally says that birthright citizenship exists in the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution. But it was good to see right away Trump instantly getting slapped down by a federal judge in Washington. By the way, the federal judges in Washington, D.C., regardless of whether they've been appointed by Trump or Reagan or Obama or Biden or Clinton, they've all been coming out with statements in their orders because they have to now dismiss these January 6 cases based on Trump's pardon. And they've said some very, very, very powerful things. Here's an example from Judge Chutkan, who goes, "More broadly, no pardon can change the tragic truth of what happened on January 6th. On that day, a mob professing support for then President Trump violently attacked the United States Capitol to stop the Electoral College certification. The dismissal of this case cannot undo the rampage that left multiple people dead, injured more than 140 people, and inflicted millions of dollars in damages. It cannot diminish the heroism of law enforcement officers who struggled, facing serious injury and even death, to control the mob that overwhelmed it. It cannot whitewash the blood, feces, and terror that the mob left in its wake, and it cannot repair the jagged breach in America's sacred tradition of peacefully transitioning power. In hundreds of cases like this one over the past 4 years, judges in this district have administered justice without fear or favor. The historical record established by those proceedings must stand unmoved by political winds and a testament and as a warning. And all of the judges basically agreed with that. Let me show you this too, though, because Cohen, you see in this a civil war, if you will, already between the tech bros, Elon Musk going after Sam Altman. Altman runs or owns OpenAI. Trump invited Altman and a number of these other AI oligarchs, SoftBank CEO Masayoshi's son and others, and they basically announced that they intended to pool their resources together to invest $500 billion in AI. And Musk was like, y'all don't have, you're just making that number up. Y'all don't have $500 billion. Like why don't you just say $1 trillion? Then Elon Musk made posts of crack and crack pipes and said, basically, this must be what Sam Altman was smoking, one of the oligarchs, when he made up the number $500 billion. But that's the post right there for those watching on audio. We're showing the crack pipe and crack that Elon Musk posted. And, it's a pretty astonishing thing. Like Donald Trump's big first thing was to make up this $500 billion number. And then Elon Musk basically slapping Donald Trump's hand and the other oligarchs Trump brought in. And it should be noted that Elon Musk has a lawsuit against Sam Altman because Altman started OpenAI as a nonprofit with actually money from Elon Musk. And then Musk is like, whoa, wait a minute. I invested in this as a nonprofit. And now you're turning it into a for-profit, and now you're making billions of dollars off of and look, I disagree with Musk on almost everything, but I would get it if you put money into a nonprofit and then they took your money and then we're like, you know what? OpenAI is now a for-profit and we're cutting you out, Elon Musk, from the process. But I think Democrats are, again, staying focused, messaging. Look at the oligarchs. Look at the tech oligarchs. Here's what Jamie Raskin had to say. Michael Cohen, let's play it.
Gentleman's recognized.
I rise in opposition to S5. All these fine speeches, all these fancy parties with billionaires and congressmen in tuxedos, all these executive orders for big oil and the tech broligarchs, all these complete and unconditional pardons for Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, and violent extremists who chanted, "Hang Mike Pence," and smashed, swarmed, and wounded our police officers in this building with steel poles, baseball bats, American flags, Confederate battle flags, and bear mace. All this sound and fury on day one and week one, but nothing to bring down grocery prices, nothing to bring down the cost of rent as they promised, nothing to improve our healthcare system or build on our success in the last Congress in reducing prescription drug prices, nothing to get health insurance coverage for millions of people who don't have it, nothing to bring down the cost of housing or build new housing, nothing to combat the nightmare of climate change other than the full-scale retreat of withdrawing from the Paris Climate Accord, nothing to address the real problems faced by the American people. So today they want to change the subject from the indelible and shocking public safety disaster of the president releasing hundreds of convicted felons, specifically violent cop-beating felons caught on tape in the act, whom he had incited on January 6, 2021, back into the population with no plan for protecting the American people or the public safety. So what do they want to talk about today in their wisdom? Public safety.
Powerful stuff from Congressmember Raskin. Again, focusing on.
I spoke to him, Ben, literally 15 minutes before he was leaving to go from his office downstairs to make that speech. Raskin was trying to champion the pardon application that I had put in under the to Biden before he left. He, along with a bunch of other members of Congress, by the way, to those of you that keep calling him senator, he is not. He's a congressman. And he was trying to, champion it. For whatever reason, the folks that surround Joe Biden didn't decide that the people who, like myself, were subpoenaed to testify, non-party witness subpoenas that are now on enemies list, that are now in harm's way, who did not receive a pardon. Rather, Raskin, interestingly enough, got a pardon. Raskin called me up and he said, "I am so sorry, but just to let you know that he has spoken to a slew of other members of Congress that anything that comes up that seems to me or any of the others that I still speak to, like Lev Parnas, that seems out of the ordinary, even if it's 2:00 in the morning, make sure that I call him, and they will not let me and others stand alone in this fight." And I respect him, and I respect that, and I certainly appreciate it. But Jamie Raskin went on, I think it was CNN, and he delivered that type of a speech as well, regarding about a dozen or so or more individuals that, for whatever the reason is, that previous administration, these geniuses, these Talmud Chachams, as we call them in Yiddish, these freaking geniuses decided that, I'd rather just pardon my family than to pardon the people, again, who were served with valid congressional subpoenas that appeared and now have been left basically standing with their pants down.
Cohen, you ready for this?
I sure am.
You know what that is?
No.
That's another distraction alert from Donald Trump. We need to buy sound effects here. Another distraction alert, another WMD, a weapon of mass distraction. Everybody, oh my God, Donald Trump has officially declassified the assassination files for Martin Luther King, JFK, and RFK. He asked his aide to give him the pen, and he just signed it. We're witnessing history, DC Drano and all the Trump influencers. Oh my God, maybe we should not focus on everything you freaking promised, like lower prices, peace in Ukraine, and making housing more affordable. We ain't falling for your distractions. You are in charge. We're holding you accountable each and every day. We may need to start with buying some sound effects, but we'll work on that. We're scrappy network here. We're scrappy. He didn't release the Epstein files, though.
You know what I hope he releases?
Maybe that should be the story. He didn't release those.
And you know what I hope he releases?
What?
All the classified UFO files.
You know what I hope he releases? I hope he releases his medical files from the whatever went down in Butler, Pennsylvania. I'd like to see the medical files there. That's what I want to see. Anyway,
you know what I hope he releases?
What do you hope he releases, Cohen?
All my FOIA documents.
You know what I hope he releases?
486,000 of them. 486,000.
Well, here's what we got to do. We got to take our last quick break of the show. I want to remind everybody, Michael Cohen's back. It's official. Not that you aren't here, but like the fighting Cohen, gloves on. Michael Cohen is back, folks. He didn't really leave us, but Cohen's ready to fight right now. He was ready to fight before, but I see a different spirit in Cohen right now. I'm not just going to call it what it is. Subscribe to Cohen's YouTube channel at The Michael Cohen Show, at The Michael Cohen Show, patreon.com/Political Beatdown. Help support the show. Who knows? Maybe we get actual sound effects. Maybe not. We'll see. Take our last quick break of the show.
The holiday season messing with your routine? Looking to take charge of your life with full mental clarity this new year? Enhance your sober January and embrace CBD Awareness Month with VIA to experience the powerful benefits of hemp without the high. Trusted by over 500,000 happy customers, VIA, it's a Swiss Army knife of wellness. It's dedicated to harnessing the natural benefits of hemp to create high-quality wellness products. Look, VIA's collection of THC-free products combines minor cannabinoids like CBD, CBG, and CBN with botanical supplements for targeted effects that you can actually feel. So whether you're looking to improve your sleep, focus, or relief, Via has something for you. Now, you all know that I've tried THC-free gummies for sleep. And let me tell you, anyone who knows me knows that I've had sleep issues my entire life. I mean, where has this product been my entire life? Via is well known and well renowned for their award-winning THC and THC-free gummies, their vapes, THCA flower, soothing topicals, and calming drops. All of them crafted with the highest quality hemp sourced from trusted, independently owned American farms. And the best part? Via legally ships to nearly all states in the United States in discreet packaging directly to your door with a worry-free guarantee, and no medical card is required. Look, let me share some points about Via for you. All right, first, an industry leader, over 500,000 customers so far served. 2, made in the USA. 3, award-winning service. 4, quality ingredients. And 5, affordable and accessible. So if you're 21 plus, check out the link to Via in our description and use code BEAT, B-E-A-T, to receive 15% off. And if you're new to Via, you'll get a free gift of your choice. So after you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. So please support our show and tell them that we sent you. This year, enhance your everyday with Via.
We're back. We are back. Thank you to our pro-democracy sponsors right there. Thank you for such a big audience, a lively audience. I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm really pumped that this community is ready to fight. And Cohen, I'm being semi, facetious and sarcastic about you. But look, everybody should have their own schedule, especially you, who has been through more than any of us. And what I've noticed, though, over the past 48 hours is people rallying and people saying, we are ready to go right now. And the corporate media, which has tried their usual tricks and with the distractions and all of the ridiculous headlines that we see, they're like, there's a lot of good reporters out there. I feel bad for them that they're working for oligarchs, but there's some good reporters still doing good work. But it just ain't working for them. Like, there's a new dynamic, as we said from Captain Phyllis. We're the captains now. We're the captains of this ship right now. And this community is rallying great. So I was talking about some of the Broligarch fight before I left. Sam Altman making all of these statements about Musk making statements about Altman. You've got Steve Bannon berating Musk over his attacks on Trump's AI infrastructure project. Musk going back and attacking, Bannon. So just total chaos right there. Cohen, we've also found out the ratings of Trump's inauguration, abysmal. 24.59 million total. That's about 10 million less viewers than Biden. 27% or so lower than Biden's 2021 inauguration, which, for Donald Trump is all about the ratings. Like what would have been so embarrassing, though.
Hey, Ben, you want to hear something crazy? My viewership for my House Oversight, the live House Oversight, was more than double that amount.
More people watched Cohen testify before the House Oversight Committee than watched Donald Trump's inauguration. Wow, that is an incredible stat. Do you know how many people watched? You know how many people watched the oversight?
Oh yeah, it was like 50-something million people.
Double.
Yeah.
Double.
Yeah.
Double the people watched you testify. That's even a better barometer right there. But
you know how I know that you're right, Ben? You know how I know that you're right about
because lots of people watch puppies and kittens on they watch the Puppy and Kitten Ball.
Exactly.
Or the inauguration.
Exactly. Because I gauge by the interaction that we get here, either on Midas Touch Network or my YouTube channel or even my Mea Culpa podcast. My YouTube channel, I was sitting at around 247,000 subscribers. And I would always say, as I started off, welcome to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 250,000 subscribers. And I can't wait till I'm saying 500,000 subscribers, because between YouTube, between our, our Midas Touch network and so on, we really are growing. Do you know that in the last 48 hours, almost 9,000 people subscribed to my YouTube channel? 9,000. So I know the people are back. I know that they're interested, they're worried, and they have every right to be worried, because as it stands right now, we're literally sitting in this sort of purgatory where we're just not sure what's going to happen tomorrow. And, it's always fair to say, I want to be hopeful, but I'm not optimistic. Well, I'm not even sure that hope is on the horizon anymore. And that's where, Ben, I want to just add to what you were saying. We need to be vigilant. And I don't mean vigilant on the street like the January 6th insurrectionists, at the ballot box, to be informed. Because even as we're watching the first 72 hours of the new administration, I can't even begin to tell you how many misstatements, misinformation, disinformation, malinformation has been spewed out there by not even Trump himself, all of his supporters, all of the MAGA supporters that are there, members of Congress, senators, governors. It's despicable.
But you know what is refreshing? And this is what I think the people in this chat who are watching this live, all of the new subscribers to the @the Michael Cohen YouTube channel, because guess what? Bam, 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 like fly swatters, right? All this disinformation, and we swat it away in an instant. And this infrastructure was not built during Trump administration 1. We've built this over 5.5, 6 years to be ready for this moment. I would have much preferred to use this infrastructure to help people access additional rights under a Vice President Kamala Harris administration, and use this infrastructure to talk about, here's all of the extra benefits you could get. Here's all the great stuff. Here are things going very well. I would much prefer, even if that resulted in less viewership, I would so much have preferred that. But we're here. We're built for the moment. We've got our swatter, and we're ready to go. Like, take a look. Do we have the "I did that" sticker of Donald Trump, Remy? That's just with him kind of pointing up. Because let's just talk about some of the different things that Donald Trump's been doing. Trump's immigration plans are already wrecking the food industry. As I mentioned earlier, about 75-80% of the workers in Bakersfield who are not documented are not showing up as a result of Donald Trump's plans. Trump rolls back efforts to lower Medicare and Medicaid drug costs. The executive order halts an effort to cap the copayment for generic medications at $2 for Medicare beneficiaries. So this impacts red states more than blue states, but it impacts us all. And a lot of people in red states, Trump voters, are on food stamps or on Medicare. Yes, Trump is coming for you. And we said he was, because it was in Project 2025, and they're the ones who wrote these executive orders for him. Trump's federal hiring freeze raises fears about the VA medical care. For all of the veterans who voted for Trump, you voted to harm your own care. Trump guts a key aviation safety committee. He fires the head of the TSA and the Coast Guard. He pulled us out of the World Health Organization. If you take a look at this photo right here, you now see the only country, basically, other than maybe like Iran and one others, that are not part of the WHO. That's the United States. Trump's trade battles will be spiking food prices, helping China, says Mexico's former trade chief, who is basically like, bring it on. We'll cut deals with China. We'll cut deals elsewhere for our goods, and we'll screw over the United States. Food prices are rising again. Egg prices are rising nearly 37%. But what's Trump doing? demanding an apology from the bishop who asked him to have mercy on marginalized communities like LGBTQ plus communities and migrants. He was so offended that the bishop who said, have mercy, please have mercy. That was too woke for him. That's what he's focused on now, Cohen. Cohen, is this a layup that I'm handing you? The two-figure salute?
I think you're going to be somewhat shocked because, look, it's very easy to turn around and to give the two-finger salute every single week to the commander in chief, right? I mean, it's just too easy because of all of the fuck-ups. I do truly believe that today's two-finger salute has to go to Marjorie Toilet Green. What she's looking to do there was more than just express a concern that there was a man in the women's. It was all about what she has been doing on and on and on, and that's attacking the one congressperson who's transgender, something that she is fixated on. I've never seen anybody so fixated on an issue. And somewhere along the line, maybe she thought that there was that person and what have you, so she had to make a big deal out of it. It's all about her trying to find attention and find the attention at somebody else's expense, at somebody who's marginalized. Think about what she just did. All right. It is absolutely. Did she turn around and apologize? Did she turn around and say anything other than, I'm going to the floor, I have to vote? Absolutely despicable. Toilet. Two-finger salute goes to you. The two-finger salute.
It's like, what's going on with lower prices? Why isn't there peace in Ukraine? Why isn't housing more affordable? Why are prices going up everywhere? What are you going to do about it, Republicans? What are you going to do about it, Trump? And their response is like, penises and vaginas. Penises and vaginas, everybody. Doesn't this make you mad, everybody? It's like, okay, just stop bullying marginalized communities, you freaking weirdos. It's strange that y'all wake up thinking about penises and vaginas. Just relax with that and maybe just focus on stop bullying people and focus on the economy, our national security, be normal, behave like adults. Too much to ask. Cohen fired up, ready to go. At the
Go to
Michael
the Michael
Cohen
Show on YouTube. You'll see more fire.
More fire.
Uppercuts.
He's ready to fight.
Right
He's got the fighting gloves. Those aren't even regulation boxing gloves right there.
No,
those
these
are street fighting gloves. Those are UFC gloves. Those are
Evergels.
Yeah, that's some serious business right there. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, Mea Culpa Blue. Subscribe to the Mea Culpa Blue podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. So great seeing you, Midas Mighty. We're in this together. Hold your heads up high. We got this. We got this. Together we fight. Together we're going to get through this. You mean the world to us. Thank you to our mods. Thank you, Midas Mighty. Thank you, Beatdown Brigaders. Remember, the Brother Show goes live 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific tonight. See you here as always. Have a good one, everybody. Shout out Brigader. Shout out Midas Mighty.